What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Timberborn Paradise. This is episode 20, and we're doing it a little bit differently. I am voicing over through my play. It's become just way more easy to actually do a voiceover and record because life. Anyways, so we finished our bot factory. We have bots now. I want to take here and because I realized I didn't have any storage for what we're making. You know, any of these extract and biofuel, but also since we have a bot district or a bot facilities up here, I figured I'd make some bot workers to try and take care of the bot things that are up here. Yeah, I like saying the word bot, apparently. So with the worker or builders huts in there, and then all we need is our storage units, and we're going to put those right there so they don't have to go far to unload while they're all of the stuff they're producing. So extract on or biofuel on one side and catalyst on the other, because it's catalyst, not extract. Anyways, so one of the things I want to do is I want to start increasing our storage because I need to remove the other storages from the other place. So what we're going to do down here is we are going to create our storage by going down some and having it become a like a storage walkway, so to speak. It's going to be a storage tunnel or bridge when it comes down to it, because it's going to go over the chasm. I don't know. So first things first, what we need to do is we need to figure out exactly how high this is going to be, which this should be the height that I want. And then this is going to be the main walkway. Well, actually, it's going to be one higher. So this is going to be the main way we're going to do our platforms to get us the space that we would like. And then we're going to have to remove some obstacles along the way, which means we're going to have to throw down some dynamite as well. Other than that, we have other things to take care of. And I'm debating about bringing back time lapses. I know, it's just time. It's the time I have to record and everything. It's just not as much as I'd like. And it seems like it's just getting more frustrating for the foreseeable future. I know not many people are following my adventures anyway, but it's still something I want to do. So coming over here, we're going to need to increase this land out. And what I'm doing is trying to figure out, what's the best way we're going to do this, because I do still have some apparently some trees to be cleared over here in order to increase this land out. And I also needed to figure out exactly how far out I was going to go. Using this other tree as a marker, I decided that's where I wanted to extend it out to. And the reason being is there's a whole lot of stuff going on with all of this. Channels and everything as it's going. And so it's just one of those moments where I'm like, I just need to get things taken care of. So back over here, we're doing a little bit of cleanup work and checking on our tunnel. And man, they're working. They're putting in work. So we're going to extend the path out a little bit more to make sure that they can get to all the rest of them. It just takes time, which probably would have been faster if I just put a storage there so they could have got from the storage and gone right there. But these are things I think about in hindsight, not always having the ideas ahead of it. So moving over here, I want to put in more builders and haulers because I'm hoping that that'll speed up the construction. And after many, many thoughts of how I wanted to do this, which as I'm watching it now, I could have done this a whole lot differently too, and still been cool. I guess it's just one of those things that sometimes you think about things afterwards. Yeah, so we're going to put our ladders back here, and then we are going to put our overhang. We're going to build an overhang behind behind one set of it, and then have the other overhangs run across, like a normal overhang. Which I'm starting to think, I'm like, man, maybe I could have just used some platforms, 2 5x5 platforms. But I even think if I still used the 5x5 platforms, it still wouldn't have been enough. I still would have needed an overhang. But anyways, we are going to put our 2 new hauling posts and building posts up there. And trees cut down. So, yeah, I'm really, really deciding and debating. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a farmhouse over here on this side and put more crops to plant. Because we're definitely needing more food because we have way, way more beavers than what we had originally. And I need to make sure that we're going to have enough food to sustain. So after much debating and thought about it, I just decided to remove the plantings so they don't replant the trees there, so I can start putting the crops there. Now the thing is, I have to figure out how I'm going to fit in my actual gosh, words escaping my brain right now. Fit in my actual farmhouse. So I need to really rethink how some of this is done. But also, I kind of decided that I wanted to have water run through there a little bit more. So greenery. More green land. Coming back to check on this, and they've not finished demolishing that, but they've put in some of the dynamite. Oh no, I mean, I haven't gotten to putting down the dynamite yet, but they will put in some of the dynamite at some point, because I really just need to remove just these pieces. So of course we're going to prioritize these so they can take care of this, so I can get everything set up so I can start building this. And then I thought about it and I was like, oh, you know what? I could also take this time to put the next length in, because why not? I'm going to need to do it anyway, so why not do it now? So that way we're not putting a complete work stoppage on this building this because I didn't plan everything out to begin with, because I have a tendency to not plan everything out. So now we have that set up, and looking back, and they can't reach this big dynamite, which means I might as well blow this up and then get it so they can reach it, because that's going to be troublesome. And they already finished the dynamite, so I guess I might as well blow it up, because what else am I going to do? Like, I was looking at it and I thought they could have reached it from somewhere else. And maybe they could have at one point, but not right now. So we're just going to take and put in some ladders so they can get up there, because yeah, I'll reclaim the planks afterwards. It is what it is. But I should probably increase the priority on these so they get those done. Now let's see if I figured that out, because I can't remember. Oh yeah, there we go. I figured it out. Increase the priority so they get it done. And back over here to check. I guess I should have said what our actual goal was. And boom, they're done with this tunnel. So their actual goal with all of this was, or my actual goal of this episode was to finish getting all of that greened up top. Yep, and now I just need to have them come start cleaning all this mess up, because I am going to end up having to seal this off at some point, and man, I really just need them to finish getting all this stuff out. And also, I can bring that back to about there easily, and we shouldn't be having to worry about where the tunnel intersects. So I can go a couple more, get some more of that, because I really only need them to I really only need the parts in the area that's actually part of the road. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this power line. I got an idea for something that I really, really want to do, and it's going to be kind of a bridge. So that's going to be for a future episode. It's kind of a beautification thing. So now that that's taken care of, and get rid of this, I'm not as worried about them finishing that, but I want to also make sure I don't trap any beavers, strand any beavers, because, you know, that ends up happening quite a bit. So we pause. We'll remove that stairwell, and we'll set all that to be picked up, but we'll go ahead and put in our platforms, or not platforms, overhangs that we're going to need. So we need 4s on one side and 3s on the other, because we have a walking path down the middle. And with our path down the middle, which I think we'll get to eventually, but I think we put in our storage units first, just so you can see how this is going to be. So it's going to just be a line of storage units, and this is going to store more food stuffs. And because warehouses, large warehouses, store some of our materials like gears and dynamite, we're going to have storage there as well. And then put some stuff for demolition whenever the beavers can get to it. I also want to start working in and building in this section. because I want to leave enough room to put in at least one more set of storage. But I also think it's going to be cool because what we're going to have is we're going to blow a little tunnel. And the reason why I'm doing this is what I want to do is I want to build underground storages underground. So as I build out this tunnel down, which as soon as I can figure out where my dynamite is, yeah, put that ladder in so they can get down there and remove that. But I'm going to build a tunnel down, and we're going to use the ladders to go down to get to our storage from this side of the map to that, and come from the other side of the map. Oh, it's a lot of stuff to say. Yeah, we're figuring this out. And even though I have all these warehouses over here, I'm still missing warehouses for a lot of goods. And I'm starting to notice my food stores are starting to go down, and that because we have a lot more beavers. We have a lot more mouths to feed. As I'm going back through this and I'm voicing over, I'm actually considering going back to using time lapses to shorten the episodes to make them more succinct, since I'm not actually talking while I'm recording. I'm just kind of keeping notes in my mind of what I'm doing, what the plan is. Coming back over here, checking on all of this and seeing where we are. And I kind of decided that since they're already removed this, I can get rid of I can start planting, because blueberry bushes take a long time. You got to get the growing for the bushes to actually grow, and then you need the time for the berries to actually grow. And I need berries because I'm making berry pies. So I think I finally figured out how I'm going to do this. So I need to demolish this, and I'm going to put a ladder there instead. Thank God for the ladder mod. I'm going to be so disappointed not to have it in the next playthrough, since I'm going to do a vanilla playthrough on the next one. I still want to finish Old Town before I start my next playthrough, because my next playthrough is going to be 1.0. The next one I start is going to be 1.0. And I know everybody else is making videos of 1.0 and everything, and I just have not. I decided that I want to wait until all of this stuff is done, because it's experimental. They're still making changes and updates to everything, all of the mechanics as it's going. And personally, I just don't want to be playing while they're making updates and changes. I want to play the finished version of it. So here I'm debating when. Oh yeah, I just realized that I just realized that my hauling posts weren't completely full, because I still have so many beavers. I had so many beavers unemployed. And then I love it when one of the mod developers shows up. I think that's one of the coolest things about the mods. I'm sorry. It's the developers have their own beavers that show up in your colony because you're using their mods. I still think that is so fun. It's a nice little touch, and I just enjoy it. I always feel like I have a celebrity in my beaver colony. And yeah, that bad tide and bad water is really, really just starting to get quite annoying. So at this point, I'm just kind of thinking, I'm like, I need to figure out more water. I need to figure out more things about how we're going to store water, how we're going to get rid of some of this bad water. Because we haven't had a bad tide in a while, but we still have more bad water pools around, and I just not enough clean water to go with the bad, and I kind of feel like maybe if I put a bad water pump over there, it'll pump some of the bad water out. But I'm also thinking, I'm like, man, if I do some shenanigans and put a part that just lets bad water out from the bottom, then maybe it'll hold the good water up top. But I would also have to seal this pond off so it doesn't allow in bad water from the rest of it that's flowing through. It's just, there's a lot to do with it and a lot of ways to figure this out and figure out what I'm going to do. But I need some other things going for me first. And this is one of the reasons why I've started thinking about maybe we'll bring back time lapses, because it's going to take a lot of work. And my downside to time lapses is that I end up recording forever and then have to edit it. And it takes so long to edit it when I do time lapses, because I'll cover so much stuff. Yet again, future me problems. Future me problems. So we're going to go ahead and fill this in with some more potatoes because, you know, potatoes. We need more potatoes. We'll always need more potatoes. So now that they've got that ladder in, I figured out how I'm going to do this. And what we're going to do is, first off, we're going to pause. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove those lumberjack flags. We're going to put new lumberjack flags in, one there. And unfortunately, I can't fit any underneath that overhang because, you know, but we're going to have our 4 lumberjacks there just to make sure that we have all our bases covered with our lumber. And then that leaves us a perfect amount of room for a farmhouse. So want them to come pick that stuff up. And checking on all of this. And since I know that tunnel's about ready, I'm just waiting for them to enjoy the last night with all of this looking the way it is, because our entire town center is about to change. I feel like sometimes I just don't take enough time to stop and enjoy the beavers just doing beaver things. That's part of the reason why I play the game. I like to see them doing just the little things and enjoying the little things. It gives it a lot more interactivity when you can actually see them using the stuff you build. So now that everyone's asleep, and I know there aren't any bots hanging around, because my bots for some reason like to hang around those storage units, I can remove all of that, and we'll remove that road to try and keep the bots from getting there. We'll pick all that up. And then the other thing I need to do is I need to start figuring out what I'm going to build where. So we are going to put our campfires back in on the edges. And then we can start everything back up. So hopefully once morning comes, they'll get started. And boom, they're all coming out of the woodworks. Time to go to work. And I'd like to take this moment to say I still love the hat mod because it lets me know at a glance what beavers are doing what jobs. And I almost think the hat mod is probably going to be one of the ones I'm going to miss the most when I go to my vanilla playthrough. Alright, let's put down some dynamite because this is a big reason for why we're doing this. And just to make sure size-wise, I am on the money because I need a 5. So let's increase our priority because this is the whole reason we are doing this. I also need to remember that I have other projects going on. One of the things about projects when you're waiting on certain things is that you have to remember to go back to them to make sure everything is progressing properly. But the other thing was I knew I couldn't blow up the dynamite even if they laid it until nighttime because there's too many beavers crossing the paths. And I need to do this at night because hopefully once the beavers go to bed, I won't lose any bots either because the bots just like to sit around. And everyone likes to walk through the minefield. It's so wild when you think about it. So I put some paths on either side to try to negate them from walking through the minefield. Because I really want to blow this up. And as you can see, they still just cross right between it. But if I wait until they all go to bed, like now, there's only bots out. So hopefully the bots I won't lose a bot. And luckily enough, there were no incidents. All right, now to get this working how I want it to, I also need to put in a sluice here because remember our water tank sits much higher, and since this is going to be it's sealed off, it's going to vacuum this. It's going to like do the whole vacuum thing and just unleash all the water if I'm not paying attention. So there's that, and we'll be able to build our fountain of joy right in the center. And I realized that I still need to build the other monuments, but the fountain of joy was like one of those where I'm like, man, I just want to get this done. Because all of this is going to help lead to a much greener area up here. And that was my goal. So now we can detonate this, even though I'm about to make a critical error. I blew it up. The water's starting to come up. And I just realized I didn't seal it off. So now we have to work quickly. Which I don't know why I was waiting. I sped it up for them to come pick up the stuff. I needed like this piece of dirt is extremely important. To keeping the water from not destroying all the fields. Well, I had it closed, but now it's open. It's starting to fill up. And look how much greenery is actually there now because that water is running through there. But look at that. So much greenery. So I figured, since these are large intersections, and of course I'm not paying attention to what's actually going on right now because I'm planting in all of these greeneries or these other things because, one, I'm moving my hospital beds. I don't have as many beavers working in very, very terrible environments. Oh, there, I figured it out. I'm like, everything's overflowing. Because I don't know why. I don't think it closed is what happened. Even though it was set to auto. I just don't think it closed. And I know that one is set to auto. So I just don't think the one closed while once it backed up, so everything just kept flowing and there was a timing thing. So while that's all nice and dandy that it's like that, that's not exactly what I wanted. Those were not the droids I was looking for lack of a better term. And also I needed to check that because I needed that to stay as full as possible. But with mass flooding under control and a drought on the way, I know all that's going to dry out at some point because it's a drought. Everything's going to get hotter. I just need it to dry out so I don't lose all those crops. But like I was saying, hospital beds. All our hospital beds are going to move over here and be right across from the Fountain of Joy because it's the Fountain of Joy. Beavers are feeling kind of bad. Let's give them something to be happy about. Let them enjoy the life. And of course, here comes my, oh, I don't like that because I want it symmetrical because reasons. Yeah. I don't know. I just needed it to have look the same on both sides and not have one side suspended off the air. I don't know why. Just a quirk in my brain function. And we'll put our roofs on top. So it's kind of like the other hospital that's over here. And boom. Look at us. We're a day away from the drought. and we have the greenery that I so desired, which means we can also, even though these hospital beds are being used, we only have 3 injured beavers. Or we only have a few injured beavers. So knowing that all of our hospital beds on the other side are fine, I'm going to go ahead and demolish all of this so I can reclaim the resources. Or at least attempt to demolish everything so I can reclaim the resources. Because, yeah. Destruction is hard sometimes. And now I just realized I'm out of metal blocks. How did I run out of metal blocks? Yeah, so smelters, I have 2 of them, and they're just not keeping up because they're smelters. 2 smelters, and I'm using a lot of metal. And I have an entire industrial district up here. Why aren't I using that industrial district for, industry stuff and put it closer to everything since all of my piles are over there? So I just think it's time to, work on making that a little bit further down. And then I think I need to put in some smelters. I also realized, my gears were not all being run by bots because gears is another bottleneck. Bottleneck is the word I'm looking for. It's a bottleneck in our production, which apparently metal blocks are as well. And then I forgot they were building this bad water rig, so I need to keep an eye on when it gets done because, as you can see, the gears are bottlenecking this bad water rig from being done, even though it is on the lower priority end. But I'm going to have to come over here and finish cleaning this all up so they're able to get to the bad water rig at some point. But no metal blocks up here. I have tons of dynamite. And so now the gears are working at night, it looks like. So the gears should be good. And our drought has started. So as this episode has gone, I am seeing some issues that I'm going to have to work within the bounds and try and figure out what is going on and how to get everything going the way I want it to. Because that's going to be the key right now. It's like I need to get things in a satisfactory place of what I want them to do or how I want them to be. So one thing I can do is put smelters over here because this is closer to all the manufacturing stuff. And the bots won't have to go as far from their bot central. But with higher smelting production means we'll have more metal. We'll be in good shape. And I mean, this was a short drought. It was only, a 3-day? I think. Correction, 6-day drought. 6 days. But still relatively short. So I still just need to get some of these places in. And I realize upon looking at this, I just put in dandelions, which I don't even know what I need dandelions for anymore because folktales don't make medicine. But we're going to end this here. We have built we're building the Fountain of Joy, but that entire area that I wanted was green. It's all green. and I'm enjoying that, and I like that. So in the next episode, we'll finish the Fountain of Joy, and boom, we will have our first monument. And I'm going to have to figure out our food situation a little bit more, because I know it's going to become an issue. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I may just revert to doing my videos like this from now on. I'm not sure. But remember to like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.